Hey there, I'm Rex King. Welcome back to From the Archive. Today we're taking a look at Stand Up Guys. Stand Up Guys was directed by Fisher Stevens and focuses on two guys for the most part. Valentine, played by Al Pacino, who after 28 years is released from prison, and is met by Doc, played by Christopher Walken. Unbeknownst to Valentine, however, Doc plans to kill him on the orders of Claphams, played by Mark Margolis, because Claphams holds Valentine personally responsible for the death of his son. Valentine does figure out this plot, however. Instead of running, though, he decides to spend one last night on the town together with Doc. And that's the film's story. The film was shot in 30 days, apparently, and was initially released to the Chicago Independent Film Festival. When it was inevitably released internationally, February 1st, 2013, the film was a colossal failure financially, only making $5 million of its $15 million budget back. And critics were less than kind to it for the most part. So, does this film have anything going for it? Well, the story's okay. I really enjoy the parts of the film that focus on these two older guys and their moral code and what they did. And pretty much when it's a character study of our two main characters, the film is really interesting, especially when it explores their friendship and the intricacies of that relationship. Then when we get introduced to the third member of their team, the film continues to focus on the character study between the relationship between these three guys. The third member of their team is Hirsch, played by Alan Arkin, who is their former getaway driver. And when the film is focusing on these three, this film is good. And when it's focusing on kind of the moral aspects of these older criminals who had a code and they stuck to it, I stress that I think this film could have been great. However, there are instances where the film decides to focus on comedy, and that comedy is very crude, very bad sexual humor. There's an instance where our main character takes a fistful of Viagra. Guess what happens? It's not all that funny. We've seen these jokes in other films at this point. And it really doesn't jive well with the good character drama bits and the character study that I think this film could have been. Now, due to these comedy bits taking away from the character study that this film could have been, our characters do feel like one-dimensional. And this mainly is due to the fact that we don't really get to know who these guys are or what they did. Only bits and pieces are inferred through their conversations, and that's kind of a letdown. I feel like if we could actually understand and learn more about these guys, this film would have been really good and really interesting. But because we start so late in their lives, we really don't get a feel for the characters. Now, I get that this film was on a limited budget and on a limited time, but I still feel like there was other ways you could have maybe done this film to show a little bit of their past or explain more about these guys so we can really feel for what they're going through. Luckily, our characters are all performed brilliantly, which isn't a surprise. Arkin, Walken, and Pacino are brilliant masters of their craft, and when they're all on screen together, they play off each other brilliantly. I really enjoy seeing these three guys on screen, and even when it's just Pacino and Walken for the majority of the first half of the film, I really enjoy the conversations that they have, and I think they play these characters quite brilliantly. Now, is this their best performance? No, not really, but they're obviously giving it their all. And the visuals of this film are another problem I have. Now, the film was shot in Los Angeles, and we're never really given what city this takes place in. But, given that this film does take place clearly in a major city, I have to ask, where are all the people? Because there aren't that many people in this film. We don't see any characters in the background. We don't have that many extras to deal with. Now, mind you, the film does take place really early in the morning, midnight, 1 o'clock 2 o'clock in the morning. But I still really would have liked to see the other people who inhabit this world, or have other characters like react to what's going on, because at one point these characters shoot up a warehouse, go get chased by the cops, and then break into several buildings. So I have to ask, where is everyone while they're doing all this? Because they seem to just be like walking through this ghost town and just doing whatever the heck they want, and that just doesn't seem right, considering this is clearly a major city. So that kind of bugged me. But honestly, I feel like it could have worked if it was just shown to be a smaller town instead of a major city. Then we have the music by Lyle Workman, and his score is fine. I think what he brought to the table was alright. It's nothing really to talk about, mainly due to the fact that this movie focuses on songs from the 70s and 60s. And they're all good songs, really. But the standouts have to be the 2 original songs done by Bon Jovi. And that's no surprise. After all, one of the songs being I'm Not Running Anymore was nominated and won a Golden Globe, and it really is a good song. Both songs are really good in this movie. If you ever have a moment, give them a listen. I think they're both really good songs. Now, is this movie a buy, stream, which you can do on Tubi, or a pass altogether? Well, the special features are a director's commentary, a making of, which doesn't give us a whole lot of information about how the film was made, in case you couldn't tell by the fact that I kind of just breezed past the production story, and an interview with Bon Jovi. So, I feel like this film is good, so I don't think it's a pass, but given the fact that the special features really aren't all that interesting, and given the fact that this film's story has some issues, the visuals don't really work at times, and our characters aren't as interesting as they could be, I'm going to say that this film is a stream. It's not bad by any definition of the word, I just wouldn't go out and buy it and add to your collection. So that's what I thought about Stand Up Guys. What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments below. And if you liked the video, like, comment, and subscribe. And next week, I'm taking a look at Popstar Never Stop, Never Stopping. See you then.